Thank you for taking a moment to watch this video. And on this particular training, we're going to be talking about how to get call recording data out of PhoneBurner and into an external system so that it can be analyzed. And we're going to be taking advantage of webhooks in Zapier to get that data out of PhoneBurner. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a new Zap in Zapier. And our trigger step is going to be a webhook. If you've watched my other training videos, then you're probably already familiar with how to create a webhook Zap in Zapier. So we choose Webhooks by Zapier, and the event is going to be a catch hook. I'm going to go ahead and continue. We don't need to do anything with this pick off a child key. We're going to go ahead and continue from there. And now we're going to have the webhook URL. We're going to go ahead and copy that URL. We're going to go back to PhoneBurner. And of course, everybody's going to be a little bit different. But most likely, you're probably going to want to capture the recordings from, let's say, a wrong person, a not interested, an interested, a do not call. You might want to capture specific call outcomes or really any live answer outcome and send that to the webhook. So we need to edit the dispositions, the buttons that we want to send the call recordings to our webhook. So let's jump over to our dial session settings, go to Dispositions, and in Dispositions, we're going to go ahead and edit the live answer set that needs to include the webhook URL. So in this particular case, I'm going to edit my Zapier Training 2021 live answer set. And here you can see I've got my disposition, set appointment, they are interested, not yet interested, wrong person, and do not call. Let's say, for example, I want to apply this to my set appointment button. I'm going to edit the set appointment button. I'm going to go down to the webhook option. Now, if this is the only webhook that I'm going to apply to this disposition, I would obviously just paste the specific webhook URL into this webhook URL field. However, as you can see here, I already have a webhook applied to this disposition, and I don't want to break that. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that both webhooks are getting hit at the same time. And it's really easy to do that. So if we go back here to the webhook, you'll see this webhook URL ends with a BGW8SQY, right? Every time you create a new webhook, it's going to have a different 5, 6, 7 letters number ID at the end of it. What we're going to do is we're going to take that ID, that specific series of letters and numbers, and that's what we want to apply to our disposition. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm actually going to put a comma after the existing one and throw in a new one. So now, whenever I click this specific disposition in PhoneBurner, PhoneBurner is going to send it to one URL, and Zapier is going to make sure that it gets applied to both webhooks. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And of course, I can do that to all of my dispositions, right? If I want this applied to every one of my live answer buttons, I just need to come in here and apply it. Now here you'll notice in this specific disposition, they are interested. I already have a comma and another one in there. So in this particular case, I'm adding another comma, and we're going to hit 3 webhooks. PhoneBurner is going to send it to one URL, and Zapier is going to separate it out to the 3 different webhooks. So we'll go ahead and save that. We'll go into our not yet interested. Come down here. This one again has 3 webhooks that it's going to be hitting. We're going to go ahead and save that. Wrong person. This one is just 2 now. Go ahead and save that. And then we'll go down to the last one, which is our do not call button. And we're going to add that. There we go. So now we've updated every one of our live answer buttons. So as we're making calls using PhoneBurner and this specific live answer set, these dispositions are now going to start coming to this webhook URL. And let's just take a quick moment and test that. So I'm going to jump back over to PhoneBurner. Let's go to our contacts. Let's grab a contact. So I'm going to go ahead and start dialing. Here we are calling Buddy Baker, and we're going to do a live answer, right? Because this is part of our live answer set. We only want to send the call recordings over to Zapier and onto GONG if there is a live answer, right? So we have our conversation. We talk as long as we need to talk, like any other conversation. And when we're done talking, we end the call, and then we're going to click on the disposition. So I'm going to click, let's say, not yet interested on this one. And of course, that ends my session because it's the only contact that I selected, and which is fine because all I want to do is get a test over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Test Trigger. And there we go. The call that we just did through PhoneBurner is now in our Zap, right? So we've just captured that in Zapier. And so now we can use this as we move through the rest of this training and building out this Zap that's going to send data over to GONG. But that's it for this specific training. Make sure you plug into the next one as we take you through all of the steps to make sure that you get the data over to GONG to be analyzed. Thanks for watching, and happy dialing.